Okay, hello everybody. I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to navigate your Blackboard site. Some important things to pay attention to help get you started and answer some of the frequently asked questions. So it is spring 2021. We are still dealing with the COVID pandemic, and there's many of you who have never taken an online class who maybe are a bit confused where things are typically found. So I've done my best to make your sites user-friendly, but again, we still have a lot of questions, so let's get some of them answered. This is what Blackboard looks like for me. I know it's probably different for you guys as students, but we're just going to go to one environmental science class. All three sites are identical because they are uploaded from my master site. So we'll just go check this out. You can see I have an announcement already about your lab due dates. So read this. It's here on purpose. It tells you a bit about tests and quizzes, some do's and don'ts, and don't worry, Blackboard's not that hard. Then you can always see announcements over here in the announcements tab. If you need to get to your syllabus, it's here. Now, I know we've had some questions about the book. So the book, the 9th edition, is the previous book. We're actually using the 10th edition. I have updated this numerous times, but it still reflects the 9th. Anyway, it's the 10th edition. If you have a previous edition of the book, that's fine. You just need to pay attention to the chapter titles and not the chapter numbers, because sometimes they will change the numbers, but they never really change the titles. So it is Raven and Hasenhall now in the 10th edition, and the reason we're in the 10th edition is because you can have an e-copy. So you have the option of an electronic copy or a hard copy. That's why the bookstore reflects 2. You only need to pick one. So the book that you need is this, the 10th edition. This is what it looks like. That's what the cover looks like. You can see it's changed to Hasenhall as first author and Raven's down here and Berg as a, 4th and 5th author, but they were the original authors of the original editions. So here's where you can purchase it. You can rent it if you don't want to purchase it, which is significantly cheaper. If you are somebody who is going on in environmental science, you might just want to go ahead and get the lifetime option there. Okay, so there you go. All I did was Google it. I'm pretty sure you can find this one on Amazon also if the bookstore isn't cooperating with you. Okay, let's go back. Then you also have the Environmental Science Lab Manual. Now, this is an in-house publication. Myself and 2 colleagues wrote this. It was back when I was Miss Geary. I am now Miss Williams. I got married a couple years ago. And that you can only purchase through the bookstore. However, over here in the laboratory module, you'll find a PDF of the lab manual. This is for the times of COVID only because the publisher was not able to offer an e-copy fast enough, so they said just give the students the PDF. So that's what I did. Okay, so you need both books. You need the lab manual and you need the textbook. If you're going to just use the PDF that is in the lab module, that's fine. Not everybody likes to read from a computer. So if you want to purchase the hard copy, go ahead and do that. Okay, so getting started, very important tool here. Okay, you're going to read that. This is a little bit about me. Here's the specifications you need to function on Blackboard. A little thing about Blackboard, sometimes things just don't open or don't download, or you can see the quiz but it won't open. These are not things that I can fix. They are Blackboard glitches, and the Blackboard gurus on campus can help you with those. Sometimes students' accounts get wonky and you have to just have them reset. So if it's something that I can't fix on my end, I will just direct you to somebody in the Learning Center, the IT help desk. Give them a call and they should be able to fix things for you. On the YouTube channel, you'll see a bunch of videos that I added for a little bit more further explanation for how to do things. This is how to break up your soil for lab. This is an old Zoom meeting. Then there's some screencasts, and these are all linked when you need to actually read them in your folders. Okay, so let's look at that. We'll start off with lecture. Okay. Here we are in lecture. Now, here where we just want you to say, hi, hello, who am I? I'm here, I'm doing work, enter me for attendance. That is what introductions are all about. Here is your course schedule. Now, this is crucial. The syllabus reflects work that you'll be doing. The course schedule gives you specific due dates. Now, I've had a lot of positive feedback on this. I use it personally, so I know when things are due for your class too. This is your go-to file, okay? So up here, we are calendar format. The black lettering are the weeks. You can see week 1, week 2, week 3, and so on. The white lettering, these are suggested days. Listen, you're in an online class. It is asynchronous. If you can't read chapter 1 on Wednesday, read it on Thursday. Read it on Monday. I don't care, as long as you read the chapter. But this is a guide for submitting work. If you follow this schedule, you will not go crazy. It's paced to give you time and breaks in submitting work. If you can't submit and finish the microscope lab on Wednesday, don't worry. You have all the way until Sunday before it's technically due. This is to give you wiggle room so you can develop your own time management and work around your personal schedule, okay? So all of this until Sunday is a suggestion. Everything is due on a Sunday, okay? So this is what you need to accomplish for the week. It is summarized here. So for week 1, you should read chapter 1, sustainability, that's the chapter title. You should complete the introduction discussion. You should take the syllabus quiz because that also answers a number of frequently asked questions about the course. So make sure you take that syllabus quiz. And you should be completing the microscope lab. If you are doing extra credit, then you're going to want to turn that in by Sunday also. Extra credit is optional. You do not have to do it. Now, I've had a number of questions that say, are the vocabulary outlines, do we have to do those? Well, right here it says extra credit. So no, you absolutely do not have to do them. It's up to you if you do them. If you want a few extra points, that's great. Extra credit is explained here. So let's go back to your Blackboard site. And we're going to go back over into a lecture. And in this important course documents folder that I hope you open because it says it's important, there's good stuff in here, you can see an extra credit file. Download that extra credit file. It explains how to do extra credit, how much it's worth, how to turn it in. So just email me your extra credit. And so check that out, read that, and do extra credit if you feel like it. Let's go back to your course schedule. Okay, remember we said we have a lab due at the end of this week on a Sunday. That is for my lab class. So if you have me, Miss Williams, as your lab instructor, then you're going to follow my lab schedule. If you have a different lab instructor, that's absolutely fine. You need to follow their lab schedule. Okay, so I've left it on here because the majority of my lecture students do take my lab. And prior to COVID, this was a one-stop shop kind of class. You had lecture and lab combined, but with COVID, they've separated them out. So I've left my schedule as is. So just those of you who don't have me for lab, just be aware of that and follow your instructor's schedule. So let's go over to lab and check out what we're doing in lab. So you can see, you click over here to get to all the different modules. In the lab module, you need to read this, okay? All labs are going to be submitted through the online interface. Nearly all labs have activities that you'll complete. Some labs you'll be writing your lab report. Lab reports are done on the stream analysis lab, and that's it. So read through this, and then I'll show you a couple of things. So here's microscope. This is your first lab you're doing this week. These are the directions, okay? They're kind of generalized directions about how to do these. You open up this activity, and I'll just show you this way instead of starting an exam. You're going to answer these questions. That's it. You just do it. You go in, answer the questions. Now, it's best, okay, if you're going to do this, well, you are going to do this, but when you do this, let me go back to lab, go to microscope. What I recommend is downloading this. So open up that file. Read through this first because every lab has directions, okay? Once you've read through this, okay, you can write in your lab manual, or you can use the lab manual as a workspace to kind of jot down your answers, and then go in, okay, and do the actual submitting your answers into the activities. Okay, so for the microscope, we have 9 activities that correlate to the activities that are in your lab manual. So let's look at another one. Let's see, microscope metric. Let's go jump down to soils, okay? So by the time you get to soils, you are going to need to have created a soil. You dried a soil out that you've collected around your house or off of a trail or something like that. And then you just go in, and again, you answer these things. Now, this one, okay, activity 2, you need to go to this Google Doc. So you just go ahead, copy this, put it up in a browser window, check out that Google Doc, and this is where you're going to fill your answers in. Okay, there's a chart here. Blackboard doesn't allow basically this type of format to be created in an activity. It just doesn't have the mechanism. So fill in your answers, save this, and then you will upload it to this assignment interface. So you just click here, and you get your file, submit it, boom, you're done. Okay, let's go back to the lab, and I think that's all I need to say there, okay? You'll notice in the directions we have the first grace period, the second grace period. What the heck is the grace period? So read your syllabus, you'll learn about what the grace period is, okay? But come on over here and you'll notice about halfway down there's these bright yellow boxes that say everything is due, okay? This is your first grace period. So you will lose 20 points per lab, per exam, if you submit your work late. So if you submit your work after Sunday at midnight when the item is due, you'll lose 20 points. Okay, so long as you submit it by its appropriate grace period. So what that means is, okay, you forgot to do, let's say, the metric system. You totally blew the Sunday deadline, and then you get down here a couple weeks and you're like, ah, shoot, I totally forgot to do metric system. Don't worry, go do it, submit it before, what month is this? March 21st, and you will only lose 20 points. If you submit it after March 21st, no points. I'm not taking any work prior to March 21st after March 21st, okay? And then the second half of the semester, same deal. So then you're going to have all of this work due. Try to make your Sunday deadline. Pay attention to that. But if you miss your Sunday deadline, you can still turn it in all the way up to your